Hey guys, John with Cheap Old Cars and Audio. Today we're working on this cheap old car. So I've been having a little bit of problems with it, and I'll show you what's going on. Really, it's not that bad, just a little bit of a rusty bolts, and we'll get it taken care of. What I'm doing is changing out the lower control arms to, where are they? These guys, the Maximum Motorsports adjustable ones. So I can raise or lower the rear end, just, get the car up in the air a little bit, and then get up under there with a half-inch drive, and I can lift or lower it. Now, kind of the main thing I'm going to do is lift the rear end a little bit. I have it on H&R Super Sport springs, and under extreme circumstances, I've hit the tires and the fender wells a little bit. I am not willing to roll my fender wells. That's just not something I like to do. I just put fingerprints on my car. And so I'm gonna raise it just a bit. Now, I say that I've hit them under extreme circumstances. I don't really hit at all because I have these wheels here, 18 by 10s with a 285/35, which is not a very wide tire. I mean, it's almost stretched a little bit, but I don't hit just bolted directly to the hub. But with my little spacers that I like to put on to bring the wheels out just a little bit, I do hit some. I don't like that, so we're going to make it a little bit better by raising the rear end just a touch. And I like these cars with just a little bit of rake too. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Show you where I'm at. So I pulled these two bolts here on each side, which drops the sway bar. Sway bar is over here. And then I've taken off lower shock bolt, and then the quad shock, which went from this stud here down to this bracket here. I'm not going to put those back on. So when you go to a stiffer lower control arm, you don't need the quad shocks anymore. So that bracket will live there. And I might actually pull this bracket off. I'm not sure yet. It won't hurt anything to leave it there, so I might leave it. I might just kind of tape around and throw some paint over that stud so it doesn't get rusty. Yeah. So let's pop under the car here, and I'll show you guys what I'm running into problems with. If I can make my camera not go into the other mode. Here we go. So these bolts right up here, they don't look that crusty right now, but they were very rusty. The car was from Missouri. Excuse me. And it has undercoating, and there's really no rust on the car at all, but the exhaust was pretty rusty. And so those bolts have been a nightmare. I've gotten one nut off, and I'm just going to cut them. So I've got the handy dandy little oscillating tool. My battery's not in right now. Battery's charging. And I'm going to cut those bolts and then put new bolts in. So that'll take care of that. And the reason I'm cutting the bolts is for these Flowmaster exhaust. Sorry, I'm scooting around under here. For these Flowmaster mufflers that are on it, they're wider than the factory mufflers. If I turn this here, you can see a bolt sticking out there. I need to get that bolt out because it's the front one for the lower control arm. Okay, it's the one that runs right up through here. And I was able to pry this muffler here over a little bit to be able to get a tool in there and loosen the bolt, or loosen the nut on the backside. But I can't get the bolt out because I can't move the muffler enough. And then over there on that one, the muffler is just almost touching the frame rail, so I can't even pry it over enough to get my tool in to loosen the nut, loosen the nut and bolt. So it's a nightmare. It's not really a nightmare, I guess. I'm sorry, I'm looking up under my car and I see something wet, and I'm like, oh, what's that? Anyway, it's not really a nightmare. I'm just not really used to dealing with rust very much. I live in the South, and we don't have rust, really. So when I do encounter something rusty, it really slows me down because I, break out the penetrant and sometimes take a torch to things if I can. And, I know what to do, but I'm definitely not as quick at dealing with rusty stuff as someone who does it more often. Let's look at the springs. Well, here's the cool thing about the Bullet. It has the vented rear rotors. They have the vented rear rotors, whereas the GT doesn't have vented rear rotors. I was talking and I accidentally stopped the recording. Hooray for me. Get my head out from under this car. Here's my springs. They're H&R Super Sports. I had the isolators and the factory isolators. They're a good riding spring. Now, most of that kind of tighter coil area does compress down. But honestly, this car with the H&R Super Sports and the Coney Orange shocks, they're okay. They're not the best shock ever. But with those, the car actually rides better than factory bullet springs and factory bullet shocks. Of which I have. Let's walk over here. You can't see a lot of it because my garage door is up. But on this beefy shelf I have up here, I mean, you can see there's a strut right here. I've got tons of springs because almost all the cars have different springs or something done to them. And so I've got lots of stuff up there. There's a white box in the back that has a full set of springs in it. There's a set of bullet springs up there that have like a coil cut off of them. And they're really, really, really low. They're like lower than Eibach Sport lines. They're real low. There's bicycles. But yeah, while this is apart, I'm going to clean up the brake row or the calipers and clean the wheels. The outsides of the wheels are good, but the back sides are a little dirty. Let's flip it over here. I mean, it's not dirty, but a little dirty. So we'll just clean that while they're out. Yeah, you can see that. There's some stuff. We'll clean that up while they're out and or while they're off. This one I've actually almost got completely out. On the other side, the rear bolt is seized in and it's not wanting to come out. So I'm gonna have to hit it with the air chisel. See if I can knock it out. And then this one, the rear bolt's out, but I can't get the front out. So I say I almost got it out. In reality, I've got only one of the 4 bolts actually out until I get the exhaust moved. And the only reason the exhaust bolts aren't already cut, cars driving by. The only reason those exhaust bolts aren't already cut is because I didn't have any charged batteries for my DeWalt stuff. So a battery's charging right now. And I'll cut those bolts and see if I can move the exhaust over. If I end up having to take the muffler hangers out of the exhaust hanger pieces apart, I don't have the tool for that. It'd be a good excuse to buy that tool though. So this is just kind of, I don't know, I've got some other footage. I'm probably going to put this out on Thursday, but it's not done yet. I wanted to have it done, but like I said earlier, I've got a sinus infection and I feel like absolute hammered crap. So it might not be a sinus infection. My nose hurts like crazy and my sinus cavities are all sore, and that's typically signs of a sinus infection for me. But we also have a cold front moving through, so maybe it's just sinus pressure from the cold front. And if that's the case, then I'm just a wuss. But whatever, I don't feel good. I just noticed the car has actually moved forward some off my wheel chock. I need to chalk the front end as well, because I don't really like how these here, my jack stands that are under the frame, because the car has those bolt-on subframe connectors. I have to put the jack stand right back behind that where the frame starts to kick up, and I don't like that. It is not it's not sturdy enough for my comfort, really. And so that's kind of why I've got the jack stands under the axle too. So if these did fail, the car would drop some, and then, you know, the axle will obviously bottom out in there, and then the ones under the axle should hold everything up. Ugh, that's a little iffy. It's okay. I mean, it's sitting on a flat place right here. I don't know. It's just not as good as I like it. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for not just getting this absolutely knocked out. And let me turn around so you guys can see me. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed for not just like getting it completely knocked out and being done and adding in like a driving part to the end of the video. Quite frankly, I've got other stuff. I've got some other stuff that's happening, so this isn't the only thing I'm working on right now, and I don't feel good. Which I hate to use that as an excuse, but just don't have the energy, and so it's taking a little bit longer than I wanted it to. And I hate dealing with rusty bolts. I hate dealing with rust at all. My green bullet, you could eat off the underside of the car. Like, it is clean. And that's what I'm used to. And I keep my stuff really nice. But this one having a little bit of rust. And it's stuff that I've never dealt with before. And when I say we never dealt with, not dealing with rust, but I haven't messed with the exhaust on this car. And so what I really want to do is go ahead and buy a catback exhaust for it. But, I mean, like I've said in some other videos, I'm not working right now. I'm trying to do something with YouTube, and I'm selling stuff and doing other work on the side, so my income is not what it normally is. And so just buying an extra exhaust. What is this guy doing? He's on a big reel of something really slow. Anyway, yeah, buying a $600 to $1,000 exhaust is not in the cards right now. I mean, I could do it. I've got the money. I just don't want to spend it. But that's not good YouTube, is it? Seems like YouTubers always have the money for everything. I don't know where some of these guys get all their money. Obviously, the guys that are making money with their channels are doing well, but I see people buying stuff all the time. And it's just like, dude, is that going on the credit card? What are you doing? I don't like debt. Anywho, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Been talking for 10 minutes, so I will shut up and I'll get back to work, and there'll be an update video with a drive when it's all done.